It's early September. In fact, it's only the first week in September. And I was looking out of the office window only the other day, and I suddenly saw all these maples suddenly turning red. And I said to myself, where has the year gone? So although we've had a very, very hot summer, we've had temperatures of about 36, 37 degrees on a few days during August. They were record temperatures, all this global warming. And it has been both a blessing and a curse, because the sun has produced some nice autumn colors, but they've also burnt some of the leaves. I'm going to take you around the nursery to show you what is going on at this time of the year. So this is a general magazine program showing the onset of autumn and what we can expect, and review the summer to see what has gone wrong and what has gone right. This, of course, is a beautiful rough bark maple, Arakawa. This I imported from Japan about 20 years ago as a stump, and all the branches have been grown here. We grow many of these trees in the field. Some of our Arakawas are about 4 or 5 meters tall, but this has been kept as a bonsai. And the Arakawa, I always say, has one of the best autumn colors of all the aces. So this Arakawa is turning red before many of the other maples are turning red. You will notice that this lovely red is only on the surface. If you go inside the plant, it is still that slightly green color. And if I go to the back of the tree, we can see that all the back over there, which has not been exposed to sun, is still a nice green. So what I want to show you really is that the effect of the sun has this sun tanning effect. We call it sunburn really, and provided you water your trees properly, the edges of the maple leaves don't get burnt. This one is almost in near perfect condition. Many of our trident maples are also in near perfect condition, but I will also show you some other maples which have had the sun create different effects on the leaves. So if we move from this lovely Arakawa to some of our other maples, we will show you the autumn colors on them, and I will explain to you what is going on. Okay. This lovely maple is what we call the mountain maple. The Japanese simply call it Yama Momeji, meaning mountain maple. And the mountain maples, that means the unnamed varieties of the Acer palmatum, certainly have an extremely varied range of colors. I have some mountain maples, Acer palmatum, which don't turn deep red, they turn more yellow or golden color. But this is typical of most of the Acer palmatums. And this is just about to turn this beautiful red color. The red color hasn't reached its climax yet. You see some parts of it is still green. This is probably where it was shaded, but the rest of the tree where it was exposed to the sun has started turning this beautiful crimson color. So there is more color yet to come. Even the dissectums, we have green dissectums that turn beautiful red, but this is typical of the Acer palmatum, and they've turned red. But at the same time of the year, some of the Acer palmatum have not turned red, and I will talk about those as well. If you remember earlier in the year when I showed you how we plucked the leaves on this maple, where I was plucking the leaves like a chicken plucker, and because I did pluck a lot of the leaves on, it produced the second crop of leaves. So the second crop of leaves have turned out to be slightly smaller, but they have not turned red as earlier some of the other maples which I did not do a leaf plucking on them. So this has yet to turn red because they haven't had such a long growing season yet. But this just shows you how the plucking of the leaves has created a more elegant and open structure, which was the main purpose of that leaf plucking exercise. I will show you another maple where we also did some leaf plucking and show you the effects of that as well. This is the other large maple where I did some leaf plucking as well. You recognize that massive trunk. and these are all new leaves, the second crop of leaves, so they haven't turned red yet. Some of these trees have been slightly burnt, and again, if I show you the back, if you can get to the back has remained green, very green. So it's the front side which, being exposed to the sun, have turned red a bit earlier than the rest of the tree. The Deshojo maple is certainly one of our most popular varieties of Japanese maple that we have on the nursery, and it's certainly the best seller. I have several Deshojos here, and I will show you the effects of this summer on these trees. This is a specimen Deshojo. The trunk is at least 3-4 inches at the base, and we've developed this from one of our field-grown material, and this has taken about 20 years to get to this stage from a young tree. And as you can see, it's in virtually perfect condition. All the leaves are perfect. Hardly any leaf has been burnt. It has been put out here and exposed to the sun right through this very hot summer, and none of the leaves have been burnt. I guess that because it's in a fairly large pot, it hasn't dried out too much. I find that if you grow maples in smaller pots, and if you're not careful with the watering, we can get a problem. I don't like to use this as an excuse, but because we have more than 20,000 trees on the nursery and they all have to be watered, we sometimes don't manage to get round to all the trees. So some do get neglected with the watering. So I've got here 4 different Deshojos, all of varying sizes. Let me show you these 3 first. These are all one batch. They're all the same age. They're all Deshojos. This is in a ceramic pot, and this, having been exposed to the full sun, has turned this beautiful red. But there's a lot of scorching on the leaves. The edges of the leaves have been badly burnt. This one has also been exposed to the full sun, but not as full exposure as this one. So this hasn't been burnt so badly. This was kept under the benches and it didn't get much sun at all, so it stayed green. So again, emphasizing the point, if you expose to the full sun, they can get burnt, but they turn a better red. But if you keep it in the shade, they do not get a good autumn color. Also, because we've had such a hot year and we've had to do a lot of watering, maples do suffer from quite a common problem. And I want to show you the effect of mildew. If we come close and look at the leaves here, this white on the surface of the leaves is not lime scale. It is in fact mildew. And in very wet summers, maples especially suffer from mildew. So the leaves get this white surface coloring. It is a disease, it's really a mold, but it doesn't have any detrimental effect, long-term detrimental effect on the tree itself. Some people can just cut the leaves off and burn it so that the spores don't float around. But next year probably, if the summer is not so hot, you won't get this problem. So a combination of the excessive heat and excessive watering can cause mildew problems. So this is something about mildew that you can note. This Zelkova forest looks a bit weird because one side of it is red and the other side is yellow. Now, if you are observant, you will see that this side, which is red, is facing the south. So the sun has been shining on this more than it has on that side. So the northern part of the group, because I haven't turned it throughout the year, the north side is stayed green. It will turn red, and the side which is exposed to the sun is more red than the other side. So this is something I would like to point out. Some more early autumn coloring. This is dawn redwood, and when they're growing well, they have this beautiful lime green color, like this tree. But some of the trees are already turning the autumn color, and the best of the autumn color is yet to come. They can turn pink. So dawn redwood is a beautiful species to grow as bonsai. This is Chinese quince. They have these lovely pear-shaped fruit, and they also have a beautiful autumn color. They in fact turn a lovely red. You can see they're just turning this lovely red color. So there's a lot of autumn color yet to come. Crabapples are also a very popular plant on the nursery because they have the beautiful blossom in the spring, followed by these lovely red fruit in the autumn. And these fruit last right through until Christmas, and the birds are very fond of stealing the fruit, but I don't mind because we like to feed the birds as well. So the crabapple is a lovely plant to grow as bonsai. They flower and fruit well every second year. So if this tree has a lot of fruit this year, next year it will not have so much fruit because they take a year to rest, and the next year it will produce more fruit. So some of the trees have lots of fruit, some have less. I want to just point out another problem that you get with this species is the rust on the leaves. These brown and black spots, this is called rust. Rust you will get on crabapples because the crabapple belongs to the Rosaceae family. So Rosaceae include the roses, hawthorns, the quince is also Rosaceae. So they suffer from rust and also mildew. So this spotting on the leaves is rust. Nothing you can do about it. You can spray with fungicide to prevent rust and mildew, but it is in the air. It's not anything to worry about because it will not kill the plant. It just makes it look unsightly. These are Korean hornbeams, Carpinus tuxani novii. The European hornbeam does not have good autumn color. It just turns a yellow color or sometimes just a brown color and the leaves fall. But the Korean hornbeam and the Japanese hornbeam have beautiful autumn color. Normally, during the summer, it's just a bright green. This one hasn't started turning, but this tree has been kept in the same location. But look at it, it's already turning this beautiful pink color. And some of my other larger trees there, they have already turned a deep pink color. So the Korean hornbeams don't just have beautiful trunk shapes and beautiful gnarled trunks, but the leaves are very pretty in the autumn. So we grow it for the lovely color as well. I love tropical plants, and this is a miniature banana plant with these lovely red stems. I don't know what the variety is called, but this grows the lovely foliage during the summer and it dies down in the winter. But the young plants or the pups I make into bonsai. If you can break these off and put it in a small bonsai pot, they make lovely little bonsai just for 1 year. So this is just a novelty thing that I thought I would show you. So there you are. We will continue walking around the nursery to show you the effects of what we've done during this past summer. And I hope you will benefit from looking at some of our successes and failures that we've had this year. This is a Cryptomeria forest. This is the Cryptomeria japonica. These trees were made from young plants that are imported from Japan more than 20 years ago. So we just grow them as tall trees and make forest groups out of it. Extremely hardy plants. We never put them away in the winter to protect these trees. They are left in the open all year round, and we get temperatures as low as -10 on 1 or 2 nights. But what I want to point out here is this blush, or we call it the frost blush. Although we are in early September and we had temperatures of 36 to 37 degrees in August, in the last couple of nights the temperature went down to 7 or 8 degrees centigrade. And once you get a cold temperature in the night, the cold temperature is almost like a frost, and they turn the leaves brown. Only 2 weeks ago, the whole group was just this lovely green color. I have several groups, and because the cold has played on the leaves, they've turned this color. Later in the winter, if we go into January and February, we will find that this entire tree or this entire forest will be a dark rusty color, almost dry brown, and many people think that the tree is dead, but not so. That is simply the effect of the cold or the frost playing on the leaves. So This is the early signs of autumn. I've never shown you these horse chestnut or conker trees that we grow. Not many people ever consider growing conker trees as bonsai, and those that I've seen are just scrawny ones, no finger bigger than finger thick, but these are large trees with massive trunks. These in fact are grafted trees. They are grafted onto the white species, and this is a red conker. They do produce flowers, and this is the early autumn effect. They're about to shed their leaves, and as you know, before the leaves fall, they turn this lovely golden color, and they're about to shed their leaves. So these are my lovely horse chestnuts. We have lots of them, and people do buy them because it's a novelty plant. This is the ordinary European beech, which is turning color, and I will show you some of the other European beeches which are also starting to turn color. This is the maple from that video I did early in the year. I think it was February or March, where I used the pickaxe and the crowbar, and I think that video was called Making Bonsai from Field-Grown Material, where I hacked the surface roots that went round and round, and many people commented that they didn't think the tree would survive, but look at it, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's virtually a complete bonsai now. And it has been exposed to the full sun right through the year, and because it was exposed to the full sun and we forgot to water it on 1 or 2 days, so some of the leaves did get burnt, but apart from that the tree is doing extremely well, and I will put it in a bonsai pot come this next spring. So it doesn't take long to make nice bonsai. So if you have large field-grown material, it only needs a couple of years before you get a stunning specimen tree. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. I will add a few more bits to show you what has happened, and I think that this will give you some idea of the sort of summer we've had. It's been a hard summer, but most of the trees have come out well. We've had some disease, mainly mildew and scorching of the leaves, but none of the trees have actually died from the heat.